Welcome to the very first podcast, 5 Reason Podcast. If you're watching from Facebook, we welcome you. Whatever platform on YouTube, we also welcome you. I'm excited. My name is Gerlin Samerzier, founder and CEO of 5 Reasons. We are a educational marketing company, designed to help showcase brand based on our five core pillars, which is health, wealth, relationship, culture, and career. And today I'm very excited to have our very first guest with us today, to talk about one of our core pillar, which is, part of the relationship. Your network is your net worth. This brother, I know him for a while. We're in high school together, although probably graduated a year or two before him.
A couple
Nevertheless,
years.
no, a couple of years. Oh, don't remind me. Also we grew up in the bridge. Shout out to everybody from the bridge and everyone from Cambridge and Latin. But this brother, and when you're talking about network, he's exemplified what it means to network. He's been on in the game for a while, and as a promoter, and very well known in the Boston community. He has putting different events. I personally credited him, for a lot of things that he has changed within the Black culture in Boston. What he's able to put together, and is none other than Vonel Lamour. Vonel, welcome to the very first 5 Reason podcast, my brother.
Wow,
You know,
thank you. Thank you, Gerlins. I appreciate the warm welcome. Definitely happy to be here. I'm definitely humbled to be on the premiere first episode of the 5 Reasons podcast.
yes,
Being the
sir.
first to do anything is always it could be a pleasure and a gift. It could also be a risky thing, being the first adopter of something. But I
Absolutely.
definitely appreciate. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Tell the people. I mean, I could go on and on about you, what you were able to accomplish. You have done so much, not only in Boston, but abroad as well throughout the country. You're an accomplished motivational speaker, which a lot of people don't know about that. You're
Mhm.
well-known promoters, putting events, together, different type of events, and people think not only related to parties, but other educational events. You're also an entrepreneur. That's the backbone or core of what you do with even Webprint Lab, where you help transform many different brands, including 5 Reasons as well. So let's dive in and tell the listeners, and the people who's watching, who is Vonel, and like a little bit about your history and things, and to
All
share with
right.
the audience.
Well, not sure how far we'll go back, but you
We could
know,
go. We could go way back.
well,
It's all
sometime
right.
in the '70s, my parents met. And no, just kidding. So no, so yeah, again, my name's Bona, as you mentioned. Born and raised in Cambridge, which is sort of a melting pot of a city. Some people call it the Commonwealth of Cambridge because it's such a different kind of environment. It has a combination of a lot of immigrants from the Caribbean and different places. I mean, a lot of Haitians. My parents came and they kind of set, I mean, from New York and other places, but then eventually settled in Cambridge. And it's the kind of place where we
Yeah.
had all types of people. We had, you know, people from third generation Harvard, Ivy League, and then we had, your fresh off the boat, so to speak, Haitians, Portuguese, Puerto Rican, and so forth.
Hmm.
So growing up in that environment, you get exposed to a lot of different things. And of course, being a parent of Haitian parent, being a kid of Haitian parents, and any immigrant, hard
Hmm.
work and education are the top pillars in that. So started my journey with my undergrad, starting with engineering and then ending with math. But somewhere along the line, I discovered entrepreneurship, and I discovered the ability to sort of help people by creating or being creative, from an entertainment standpoint, from a artistic standpoint, and then later from an advertising standpoint. People ask me, so how did you get started with this? In the beginning, it was literally fun. I didn't even think this was something that you can really do as a job or career. I was the guy who would play with computers and create little designs. And I mean, it started with sketching, but when I discovered Photoshop in high school, my little sister actually taught me. I was in high school, she was in 8th grade. She taught
Wow.
me. Yeah, she took a little, kids, they learn
Wow.
stuff quick. She took a course
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
she brought home this collage. And I was like, whoa, how did you do that? And she was like, in school, in class. And so instantly, I got the program, started playing with it, and I haven't looked back since then. But it started just playing around with it. And then one day, someone said, how much do you charge for a business card? And I said, charge? What do you mean? Why would I charge you to create? It's sort of like someone saying, charging you to breathe. It doesn't seem like something that you monetize or you sell, because it's what you do naturally.
Yeah.
So from there, of course, took a few different paths, but from the passion of designing and then event planning, and then website, it just sort of evolved into just across the board marketing. The underlying theme is sort of marketing and branding from a design print standpoint, from an event standpoint, from a company growth standpoint. Pretty much everything nowadays involves a level of either marketing or media. So
Yeah.
if you're I tell people, no matter what you do, I don't care if you sell paper clips or if you're a waste management company, whatever you are, before you're a media company, because you have to put out your brand somehow. Everybody recognizes the big T, right? If you're from Boston and you see a big T, you know what that is, right? That's the bus, that's the train. So that's a brand. Somebody had to create that
Mhm.
brand. And no matter where you see it, if you're riding the red line, you're riding the commuter rail, you're riding we used to take the 83 back in the day, um, the
I
T
know.
is
I know.
always,
I'm rich.
yeah, the
Yep.
T
Yep.
is always there. Okay. And you see it with Coca-Cola, you see it with McDonald's. When you see the big arch, you know it's McDonald's. So when I started to learn these things and I, developed some more skills around that, I realized that branding is a global thing. And
Yep.
so, I've just been playing with it. It's basically having just like that first business card, that first flyer. I've been playing ever since. It's just nowadays there's a dollar sign as I play with it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's great because a lot of people don't really associate branding with themselves, like in terms of self growth or personal development, or even themselves, and they don't think of themselves as a brand. They're just like, oh, I'm such and such, but no, we'll go to it to that a little bit more. But I want to dive in and just really have a conversation regarding, based on in the past you have put many different type of events, networking events and things in the Boston area, which also the title of this particular podcast is your net worth is your network is your net worth, and you are the one of the pioneer in terms of putting after work events, back in the days before COVID.
Yeah,
Now everything,
not too many of those.
yeah, we can't have too many of those,
A few
times
online. We've
change.
done a few online, but yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been the same, after work and just going to, socialize and things and rub shoulders and things like that. So let's talk about, like, what is an effective network, networking and stuff like that. So, for you have put, parties and things, seen many different people just come, and you have several different groups. You have one group that just come for the party and the women, the drinks or what, for the fun part of it. And you have another group that just come and just like, come to check it out, just really to network and with a few. And in the last group, it's like, the clique, I would say the clique group, like the sorority, the fraternities and stuff like that. Just like come to network with their own, and basically let's talk about that piece. What does it mean? How do you effectively network? and then we'll touch base on the net worth piece after.
All right. So I'm going to get into network. Okay. But right before I get it, I just want to create a little bit of a sort of context of sort of my approach to networking and sort of how I've come to it. And then I'll get specifically into defining network and how that translates into the net worth. So
Absolutely.
For me, networking and in terms of the event part, what happens is when you're younger, you have these grand ideas of what you want to do with your life, right? You ask a little kid, they want to be astronauts, they want to be president, they want to be doctors, lawyers, whatever it is. And then, of course, as you get older, somehow it starts to narrow down, or whether it be external factors, parents and the public telling you can't do that, or that's too much, or confidence, or just access and resources. But for me, I started where like I would be the kid who would plan the school dance. So junior high, the school dance, high school semi-formal, and then the proms, being behind that. And then in college, it was, back I was at UMass, we had the Hasa Casa. So I would plan the
I remember.
the club events. And then being in a fraternity, we also had to do social events. So I've just been always around event planning. But then even in 8th grade, when you're planning a school dance, there's a network involved in that. And your network is basically who you're surrounded with. And if you break down net and work, right? Like a net, is sort of like a spider web. It's like a combination of different points that come together. And then the work kind of ties that in. So when you think, just bring that back to right now, my long-winded way, when you think of a network, it's essentially who you're surrounded with under a common cause.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to put it. Who you're surrounded with under a common cause or a common theme. So when it comes to events, what has made me, not to say I don't like the word success because I feel like it's an end point, but what's allowed me to continue to grow with networking is identifying what is the common goal, what is the common theme, what is the common interest, what are the common values of the people that you're looking to network with and looking to have in your tribe, so to speak. So if you have just a group of people. So with events and when it comes to networking, obviously we can party any day, right? Everybody loves a good party. I don't care who you are. People like to have a good time, right? No one likes to be in misery by themselves, unless you're going through something and some sort of hard times or depression. But for the most part, as human beings, we want to be around positive things. Positive energy creates a positive it makes you healthier, it makes you happier, it just promotes a lot of good things, all the obvious. So in a network, you find your common value. So for myself, what brings people out is people might want to find like-minded professionals who are in different industries. Maybe there's people who are business who are looking for clients. Maybe people who are, if they're in their workplace and they don't find people who look like them, they're looking for people who look like them. So I think what's made my niche is catering to a niche environment, which has been more Afro-Caribbean. So from the African and Caribbean diaspora and second and third generation, that's a huge population within the Boston area who's been underserved, especially when I first started. There was no place you can really go if you're a young Haitian, African, Jamaican, Bayesian, Cape Verdean professional and feel like you're having an upscale good time. You either went to a predominantly European white club or you were stuck sort of outside the city in a very urban club that doesn't really play your music or doesn't understand your culture. So having a fusion of young professional in an upscale environment. So whether we're talking about an upscale cruise or we're talking about a downtown facility or we're talking about a club, we're putting people of the Afro-Caribbean ancestry in an upscale professional environment where they can hear their music, they can be with like-minded people, but they still feel safe and they feel like they can enjoy themselves. So yes, as you mentioned earlier, some people come early to mingle, bring their business card, or nowadays sync their phone and
Yep, yep,
exchange.
exactly.
And then to people who say, you know what, I've been working 9, 10 hours, 12 hours. I just need to let loose. I need to hear some Zouk. I need to hear some Kazumba. I need to hear some Afrobeat and just, have a good time where I know I'm safe. I
Just
know
let loose.
people
Let's just let
respect.
go.
Yeah. So with networking, it's all
Mhm.
about finding that common value and then cultivating that. So as the organizer, I just make sure that I continue to cultivate, I'm really a worker. I work for the people. They're not coming to my event. I'm working for them to serve their need. And that's how I've always looked at it. Anybody who's has some consistency, they pay attention to the audience that they're looking to serve. So that's sort of been the secret sauce, which is, I guess, no longer a
Absolutely.
secret now.
I think I would just add one of the things I remember what you used to do back in the days in terms of networking is being able to, and you were the only one who were able to clearly had the capacity and the willingness to put that together. The compact cruise, before that, we never heard of this. No, it's just typical ball and things, whereas with the compact cruise where you bring out a crowd, young professionals, Haitian Americans or whichever, and many other nationality, you bring that young professional crowd, everybody, like 2,000 people on a boat. We're not going anywhere, but it's just like being able to network. You have the pre-parties. It's just like people mix and mingle, talking and stuff like that. And you in that atmosphere, just like, okay, you meet who's who, you rubbing shoulders with who's who. It's up to you what you want to get out of it, and putting that together is just like, wow. I remember my very first compact cruise. I was like, wow, and I was able to network with a lot of people that not only in the Boston area and came from like outside Boston, New York, Atlanta, and even and as far away from California, just to attend the events and stuff like that, because it was just like it was more than just like coming and dance compa, but it was an opportunities to bring that professional crowd together, and just like relax and getting just networking basically, because you never know. Me personally, I benefit in terms of from a business aspect, from a business standpoint. I met a couple of other Haitian professionals where down the line that relationship translate into business, and we're still friends right now. As a result of that. So, but my point is, it's what you do with it. With the opportunity when you're on network, because a lot of the fun part. A lot of people take out the fun part of it. But and let's think about the other piece, the back end. Just like they said, show me your closest friends, and I will tell you what your net worth is. Show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are, and that's another word. Let's talk about that piece. You know, why is that important in terms of like your network? Your network could contribute to your net worth, if you don't
Well,
mind.
yeah. So, I mean, you hear the cliche, kind of like a cliche or the common phrase that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
And I mean, technically, I would take it a step further and say it's not only who you know and like, of course, of what you know, it's also what who you know can do for you, right? Because you can know, I mean, Oprah or Barack Obama, but if they're just saying hi and bye to you, and you're just having chats with them, and they're not really putting you in a position to really succeed, and they're not really linking you with their
Mhm.
network and their resource, you just basically have a chat partner, which is fine, But so the importance of the network is growth. It's how communities grow. It's how you grow as an individual, professionally, socially, family wise. But it's really the backbone of how pretty much anybody grows and has some level of achievement. Um, with the right network, It's the difference between having just a good idea
Mm-hmm.
and then having a network to implement and bring your idea to something into fruition.
Yep.
So 5 reasons, I'm sure you woke up one day or you one late night working and then you said, you know what? Be a good idea to have something called five reasons, right? Now you could have went back to sleep and forgot about it, but
Mm-hmm.
you followed through and you found a network of
Yep.
people that said to pitch it through, hey, what do you think? But then also to help you bring it through. Of course, yes, I was able to help with the
Yep.
branding, but you had your network of people who, whether it be the shirts, whether it be the books, whether it be the photo shoot, the other pieces, all that becomes your network in order to help bring your vision all the way through. Because no one, no thing lives on an island by itself. No company, no successful individual is by themselves. There's always some level of a network bringing them there and helping them every step of the way. So,
No, I definitely agree with you, and I think, and that's one of the reason for you see a lot of people drawing, especially in college, fraternity, sorority, just
yeah.
for that exclusive club, that part of that network. I need a job. I could hit my frat brother. I need a my soror sister, my line sister or whatever. Somebody who's just okay. You on top of the list. If you from some they seen that in your resume. Oh yeah, this person is this. Okay, I'm gonna follow through on that point. But and regarding to the wealth part, one could say, okay, yeah, I have that network. I have a strong network, but in terms of the worth part, the wealth part, I don't have that. Or my connections. I'm well connected, but the people that I'm connected to, they can do nothing for me. They don't have, you know, they can't even give me a job, or they can't help, and they can help me finance my business or something like that. So how would you respond to someone with that type of concern, or I would say mindset, to say the least?
Well, so that's a very loaded. There are whole entire books on that question. But
Yeah, yeah,
you talk about
absolutely.
mindset, and you talk about, to me that starts to sound. There's a lot of different ways you can package it, but essentially there's like two type of people, and it's really a glass half empty, glass half full kind of person, right? The kind of person where there's some people who, if you're living in America, I don't care what your situation, you're blessed. You got running water, you got paved roads, you got electricity. That's a blessing. There's people who wake up every day without clean water, who have to go miles to, and this is in 2020. There's still people who walk to go pick up water, who leave their house to go to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
who don't know when their next meal is going to come, they don't have indoor plumbing, they don't have a stove, no microwave, there's no. So sometimes it's perspective, but sometimes people without all of those things, they're still happy because regardless of what they don't have, they focus on what they do have, and they have family and they have their life. They were able to wake up. So it's all, when you talk about mindset, it's either you have like an abundant mindset where you feel like, look, there's always more, there's more out there. It's a big world. I'm going to make the best of what I have. And then there's a scarcity mindset where it's like, oh, there's not enough and I don't have anything. And that kind of person is the flip side, who might live in a great house, come from a great family, and have all this money, but still feel like, oh, I don't have enough. They got a
Yep.
working vehicle, but they don't have a 2019, 2020, right? They got a decent job. Oh, I'm not a millionaire, but
Yep.
it's
Yep.
like, well, what are you doing with what you do have? And to anybody who feels like they can't get ahead,
Absolutely.
we have the internet. Now, maybe 20, 30 years ago, that might have been more of a challenge because the internet didn't exist. In order for us to sit here and talk like we're talking in front of virtually, we can talk in front of millions of people or one person, whoever amount of people are tuning in, we would need a studio. We would have to be, an NBC, ABC, one of the major studios. We would need the cameras. We would need all this equipment. With a laptop, webcam, and a couple of mics. Here we are, and so I think, one, if somebody is having problems with their network, I think they need to rethink how they're networking. And using social media, it's social, right? So that means you're able to connect with people. There are groups, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be meetup groups, there are all types of networks, and most of them are even free, where you just join them, whatever the interests are. You're into sports. Are you into business? Are you into sewing? Are you into dolls? Are you into phones, gadgets, electronics? Are you into yard sales? I mean, there's all types of random groups. You get in them, and you just first you start reading, or you have to be humble and say, "Hi, my name is Vonell, and I really don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't really know how to network, but is there anyone willing to help me?" And I think an important part, as I get into the network thing, is a mentor.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what happens if you just ask for help. And I think, sometimes pride can get in the way, where people may say, "No, I'm not going to ask for help. I'm going to do it on my own." But asking for help doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you a beggar. It doesn't make you somebody who's a bad thing. And especially if you're doing it respectfully. We live in a very generous society. Believe it or not, with all the evil going on and the politics, it is a very generous society. Homeless people who stay on the side of the road, with their cup. Now, of course, there's mental illness and other things. I won't get into that part, but they make money just on the side of the road with their cup out. People drop money in there. That's why they stay out there.
Absolutely.
Put a cup out. So imagine if you get into an online group and you just say, "I need help. I have this idea. I'd like to see it through. I just don't know where to start." There's help there. There's a lot of organizations that their mission statement is simply to help. There's things called SCORE, and anyway.
So many. Yeah, absolutely.
But the long story short is, in 2020, with the internet and with everything that we had going on, there's no excuse when it comes to saying, "I don't have a network," or "I can't make it," all these things. It sounds a little harsh or radical to say this, but honestly, it's like the only time you fail is when you give up. And I think we need to, because we live in a quick society, just as I said, we can quickly jump on and make this podcast and get on live, and we're in front of millions. Someone's in their underwear watching us right now. Somebody's in the middle of the breakfast. Somebody's waking up. Somebody's on their phone. Somebody's on the road, and they're tuned in to us, and they can tune in later. I'm going to be, 50 years later, I'm going to look back at this, right, and say, "Man, look at myself, still no hair." But probably more but I think because things are so quick, we lack patience. We want things instantly, right? We watch videos. We want that car right away. We want that job right away. We want our business to go from 0 to 1,000,000 overnight. And it's just like, that's the part where we need to check ourselves. You know what? You got to build things brick by brick, brick by brick. There's a Chinese phrase that I love. They ask you, "When's the best time to plant a tree?" And the first answer is 20 years ago, right? Because it takes that long for the tree to actually grow. But the next best time to plant a tree is now.
Right now, people don't understand.
Because eventually the thing needs to grow. So you plant it now, 20 years needs to start at some point. So if you couldn't plant it 20 years ago, plant it today and build. Now, those are the things you can control. I mean, of course, you can't control the weather. You can't control things that go on, but you got to work on the stuff you can control. And I don't want to get into lecturing and motivational type stuff, but essentially, if your network isn't working, change your network.
Absolutely.
That's what it boils down to. Change it. And how do you change it? Jump on the internet, and there's this little site. Very few people know it. I don't want you to tell anybody. Anyone listening right now, this is exclusive information. Okay? There's a little website. Write this down. I'll give you 1 second. And as I say it, actually, you can play it back later. GOOGLE.com. Okay? Google.com. Believe it or not, you go into Google and you do a search on what it is that you need to find out about, you'll find someone or somewhere that's already written about it, written a blog, there's a forum about it, there's plenty of resources that'll put you in the right direction. So
Absolutely.
google.com is a great place to start.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something about social media. I think one of the key thing, a lot of people misuse social media. They understand like social media, social networking. So they take out the networking piece out of it. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm just social, just interactions and stuff. They don't understand the whole concept of it when it started was to network. Starting when that originally started for college students and then expand to everybody else. Now these days you've seen people go on social media just to post their life stories, whatever's going on, however they're feeling and things like that, just go express it, which kind of take away the purpose of it. The whole purpose of social networking was to, create a social atmosphere for you to network. Example, LinkedIn, that's what, serving the purpose of it. People you connected, part of your network. When you're looking for a job, you just go on LinkedIn. They'll look at your profile and who are you connected to? So a lot of recruiters, for example, they go on LinkedIn to see who you will. The first thing they look is your network.
Exactly.
On LinkedIn, based on your network, who your key people you are connected to. So that kind of give them the ideas of, okay, oh, I know he knows this person. I know this person too.
Hold up. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you short, but this is really important.
No, that's
okay?
Cool.
And for everyone who's listening here, I'm just trying to, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I want to help somebody, okay? And I've realized in my experience, if you're talking to 100 people, 95 of them are just going to go back to whatever they were doing, right? They're going to say, oh, that looks cool. That sounds interesting. And then they go back to their life. But 10 to 5 of them are like, whoa, they take the notes, whatever. And then 1 or 2 actually take action on the thing that you said. So with all that said, when you say LinkedIn, okay, when you talk about network, and this is something I actually have done, if anyone's listening, they'll know that I've hit them up. I actually went on LinkedIn and I searched for different CEOs and different marketing people and other business strategists. And I literally just inboxed them, cold call. I did about 100 of them, okay? Actually more than that. And each one, if they looked interesting, I looked at their bio and I said, hey, listen, I've been in quarantine, locked up in my home since March. I haven't been able to go to any networking events and meet some new people, but I ran through your profile and I like the fact that I see some people who old UMass people. I saw some people from MIT and I'm like, hey, listen, I like what you're doing. Do you have time for a 10-minute virtual coffee? Okay, where we jump on Zoom, which is free, jump on whatever, and we just chop up a little bit. We just have a little conversation. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing. I tell you about what I'm doing, and seeing if there's any sort of common ground and anywhere we can network. Right? Keyword network. And most people ignore, but I've gotten anywhere from 15 conversations based off that, and some new business based off that. It's tedious. You get more no's than yeses, but I don't worry about no's. I've been told no all my life. Like literally all my life I've been told no. So I no longer listen to no. Well, that sounds messed up. You have to get consent. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to business and it comes to moving forward, it's not the no's. You worry about the yeses. And so LinkedIn is a very powerful networking tool because when you're talking to somebody on LinkedIn, they know that you're trying to network. That's why people have LinkedIn profiles. So whatever you're in, whether you're into basket weaving, you got a small business, you're selling perfume, you're selling glasses, you're selling tea, LinkedIn is an underutilized networking tool. Everyone has an account, but people don't utilize it correctly.
Absolutely. We just have a question on Facebook from Gervais Janvier. Said, what is 5 Reasons? 5 Reasons Brands LLC is about. What is the mission? Great question, Gervais. 5 Reasons is serve as a goal-oriented marketing education company, designed to help showcase other brands based on our five core pillars of personal growth. Those core pillars are health, wealth, relationship, culture, and career. Also, 5 reasons also consist of like we design content and brand based on those five core pillars for other brands that we promote personal positive transformations. It's a self-expression. You might see some of the t-shirts said with messages. It's a self-expression, personal development. So that's what the company is about, basically, to push and encourage self-development. It's also started from a book that I wrote a couple over the when we were in quarantine. It's called 5 Reasons. No, it's a personal development journals. You could check us on the website. It's 5 reasons that life, LIFE, and also could check out. You sent you already on our page. You'll get some more information. All right. So let's get back to you, Vonel, regarding the next aspect of network as we coming to a close. You have shared a lot of great advice for the listeners. So now, let's put that into context of someone's in Haiti right now. So am I saying like I just finished my college and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a job, try to establish some type of connections. You guys, whatever you guys saying is great, but how can that help me? What can you help me with in terms of like give me some 2 or 3 concrete things that I need to do to bring. I don't have the resources that you talked about earlier because of the electricity issues or internet connection. So what are the things that I could do as a individual, just like to boost up my network, basically, so I could bring my career or get a job or do something else, because things in Haiti are difficult. So
Yeah.
for someone from Haiti that are thinking that way, that have that idea,
Yeah.
what what would you tell them?
Now, somebody living in Haiti or somebody here?
No, no,
Hello?
in Haiti. We're talking about for somebody in Haiti, for example.
Living in Haiti.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking about for
Well,
somebody in Haiti.
well,
Yeah.
first off, we gotta understand living in Haiti is no cakewalk. I don't want to sugarcoat or try to even pretend like I know what it's like to grow up and live in Haiti, especially if you come from an underclass. There's a lot of history when it comes to why Haiti is the way it is, the economics, the resources, the government, the level of dependency on diaspora, dependency on these other things, mindset issues that have been stemmed from way back in colonial and really slavery and other things, and then fast forward to it's like hundreds of years of slavery, bunch of years of dictators, Duvalier and presidents and corrupt. But anyway, with all that said, okay, I have to acknowledge that Haiti is a very unique place and has a very unique situation. And depending on the class, I'm coming. I mean, I come from a family who's from the underclass, like the bottom of the bottom. My grandmother didn't read, okay, and her grandmother didn't read either, okay. So like I'm not too far removed from that. So I can what I can say though, okay, the things that you can control is one, you have to survey your environment and understand what's around you, okay. Even though my grandmother, I tell you, and her mother did not read, they were still smart enough to purchase land, okay. To this day they still own land. My grandmother was into what they would call now micro lending. Okay, there weren't any banks to go by, but she got into lending. She would. It started with a sol. If anyone's familiar with like, and there's a lot of sol scams. I don't even want to. Well, let me not even use that word. Nowadays, there's some other people are calling sol and susus other things. Essentially, it's called micro lending. It's using resources within the community, similar to what a bank does now, without the complications of bank. You would gather money from different people in the community, pool it together, and then you would lend it out. It was not a pyramid scheme, not a recruit people to get money and all these other things. You literally would lend money out to the community. So she would manage this. And this is how she kind of came up, and she was able to buy land later. So, but in this day and age, the biggest equalizer that I would say for somebody in Haiti that they didn't have, I don't know what, 78, maybe 100 years ago, whatever, one of these, okay? A cell phone. So right now with a cell phone, you can connect with anybody in the world. Okay, once you have internet access and you have a cell phone, and I know a cell phone isn't easy to come by, especially brand new, iPhones, Androids. But a lot of people have access to cell phones, however they can do it, whether they have to borrow it, whether they have to use it. So the first thing that I would try to get into is survey your environment, figure out how can you serve the people around you. Do people need cleaning? Do people need things moved? Do people need water? Can you save up a couple of good, get a pack of water, break it down, buy a pack of water for whatever amount, separate it and sell it and make more? What can you give? What is the thing that you can serve? I think if you start with a serve mindset, how can you help your community, help your environment? And it may not be fancy. It may involve scrubbing some things. It may be involved, lifting something heavy. But whatever is that need, you try to serve it. The other thing that every business needs is customers, right? No matter who you are, a business needs customers. So can you help someone in your community, the local, the local tire shop, the local, whatever the thing is in your area, even in Haiti, there's commerce, get to business. So the little boutique, can you somehow help them with getting new customers? Can you bring new customers to them? Can you deliver some of their products? If they're a stationary store, can you help bring toothpaste to them, water to them? Can you help deliver meat from the market directly to somebody's home? Little things like that. Again, being creative about your environment and trying to get businesses more customers in that way. I'm not talking about through social media, internet, and all this crazy graphic stuff. I'm talking about literally,
it's basically, use what's in your hand.
Yeah. The person is making fresco, okay? So turn the fresco cart guy who can only do fresco from his thing. Fresco's been around before my time, okay? That fresco cart, can you go to the fresco guy and say, listen, can I help you sell more fresco? All right? I'll take, 20% to bring these frescoes to the other side of town. And then you go to the other side of town. Anyone need fresco over here? And now you're the fresco guy or girl, okay? Now, if you get a hold of your cell phone, okay, and if you can get on WhatsApp and say, hello, cuz, voy a segundo lado, s'il vous plaît. Tu t'en fais here to buy on phone? Okay. If you can do that and get on WhatsApp and start, asking family members for things, you can use the phone and start to create accounts, whether it be on Instagram or social media, and you can become the neighborhood media guy. Here's another idea, right? You can become the neighborhood media guy. If you live in, what town are you from? What town are you from?
I'm from Delma. Delma,
okay.
for some skins.
I'm pretty sure this website isn't done, or this social handle. Delma photos all day, okay? Wouldn't it be cool if you had a guy who's walking around with their phone, taking photos of what's happening in Delma, what it looks like right now? I mean, people do it all the time. They send it through WhatsApp, but I'm talking about consistently, daily. He's showing you what the schools are looking like, what the churches are looking like, what the local businesses are doing, and he's taking photos, photos, and he's posting them consistently every day on his Instagram. You don't think he's going to get followers? Wouldn't you follow that page? And then he finds out hashtag Delma, hashtag Haiti, hashtag IUCN, hashtag whatever, and he builds his social media following. He starts with Delmar. What's the neighboring town in Delmar?
Pétionville.
What is it?
Pétionville.
So on 1-2 days a week, he gathers a couple pennies and gets on a top and goes to Petrolville and does the same thing. Petrolville online all day. And he takes photos of the restaurants. He does things. So he begins to get a following, right? After he builds this little following, again, this takes time. He builds this little following, and then he starts to say, hey, listen, Harry's, I think Henri's in Petrolville, I have 15,000 followers, whatever amount, 1,000 followers on my Facebook page. I can put a little ad for you for, I don't know, 500 good, 1000 good, or 5 good, or whatever it is. I can do an ad for you.
Whatever
or you start off for free.
Absolutely.
You do it for free. Get them a little traction. Then you come back and you say, hey, listen, I put the ad. You see I was able to get a few people here. So essentially, and I can give a bunch of other examples, but it's really about thinking outside of the box and being creative with what you have. Okay, if you can't, Obama even said it, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, roll. But
whatever you can do, just try to do it. Keep yeah.
Utilize the internet. Utilize Google. There's a Google. The internet's in Haiti. I don't know what the rules are in Cuba, but there's countries where they don't even allow internet, right? Some communist countries don't allow. So luckily, the only knock on wood good thing is you can access the internet in Haiti. There are also these courses, whether it be YouTube or whatever. You learn to pick up an online skill. I would say, especially for a younger person who can, I have a 1-year-old that can get on the phone and do things. So when they're younger, it's easier to learn. They get on the phone, start to learn little skills, learn how to program, learn how to use different things on your phone, create applications, create things, use technology. And then back to network, you begin to network with people around the world. So don't just think your neighborhood. Now, if you don't have a phone, you don't have resources, work within your network. See who you can help. See who you can serve. But then if you have your phone, you use your skills and you start networking around the world, whether it be, and it's not just United States. You could be in Canada, you could be in France, any French speaking. If you don't speak English, then you find another place that speaks Creole, Guadeloupe, Martinique, other places that speak Creole. The thing is this, you just keep going. And the other thing I would say is people have no problem working a job and giving a job 8 hours, giving a job 10 hours a day, whatever, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. But then when it comes to their own personal time, what are they doing? Laying back, and they're either browsing on social media all day, or they're watching TV, or they're doing something that's not really productive and helping them move forward. My thing is, work for yourself either equal or more than you would work for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yes, put in your work, do your work for whoever's hiring you or wherever you're working for. But don't put yourself lower, or don't give yourself less resources or less attention or less growth. When you're on an airplane, and this is a perfect example, when you're on an airplane, the first thing they tell you, in the whole directions, if the air mask come on, they say, put the mask on you first, and then you put it on the next person.
Yep.
And essentially, if you follow that theory, it's basically like,
absolutely,
how do you help somebody else if you're not helping your own self? So, anyone who wants more information on that, we can always inbox. We can answer that stuff later. But essentially, it's think outside the box. How do you serve your community, and use technology to help you advance?
My brother, you hit the nail on the coffin. As we're closing, I just want to thank you again, and thank everybody who's watching online, Facebook, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. And definitely, this is a conversation we intend to have on a weekly basis. The 5 Reasons podcast, we're going to continue to have that every week, brings you different guests and touch base on some of our core pillar: wealth, relationship, career, and culture. Every week we will cover one of those topics. So again, Vonel, thank you again for your time. Thank you for your wisdom and you shared with our audience. And definitely, this won't be the last time you'll be in the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled that you bless us with your presence as we launch our very, very first episode. And definitely looking forward to continue to work with you and, and continue to networking with you and everybody who's watching and listening as well. I encourage you to really take some time to reevaluate, reassess your network. Is your network, the people around you bringing you what you need to get to the next level? Because the way you should consider your network is the people around you. Can they help me? It's just like a staircase. You go into one step and then one step, one step. So there are some people in your life. There's some people in your circle. They can only bring you to one step. They cannot get there with you. You need another group that will help you carry you to the next level where you want to be. But that doesn't mean you're going to forget about those who carry you, those who were there for you. No, it's that it's no. You need a certain group to get you. For each step require, just like they say, new level, new. I wouldn't put it new level, but new level. You just need new mentor, and So with that says, I thank you, thank everyone for their time, and thank you, Vonel. I'll give you the last word as we close.
All right. Well, Vonel Lamore. My name in itself means love, Lamore. So I like to always tell people, man, spread more love in this world. We need more love, especially in times when things are a lot of anxiety, a lot of people aren't. Not everyone's healthy. Definitely have a big pandemic going on, but from political to pandemic to whatever, we need more love in the world. And with the theme of 5 reasons, I would say, you definitely got to plug your book. You didn't do enough of that, Carolyn. But that book has definitely transformed my life. Thank you first off, thank you for thinking of creating the book, and then thank you for following through and producing the book. Because that book allowed me to think on paper. In a world where everything is cell phone and digital and laptop, I was able to write certain things down, and already, in a short period of time, was able to accomplish some things that was just in my head, but I put it on paper, I thought on paper, and was able to execute. So I would leave people with, get old school, get a little pen or pencil and jot some things. Get the 5 Reasons book. That would definitely help you. But if you can't afford that, or Lance isn't giving it away, get a piece of paper out, you use a recycled piece, and start writing things down. You'd be surprised of what happens when you just write down your basic ideas. And if you get into that habit, daily goal setting, daily writing, daily whatever's on your mind, whether it's journal, whether you're wrestling through something, think on paper. And I think some things will happen from there. But I thank everybody for listening. If you tuned in for this whole entire time and you made it through this entire podcast, I definitely appreciate it. I'm actually, today, this month is my favorite month of the year. Some great people were born in this month, including myself and Grandlis himself, born in August.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great leaders too.
Obama, many
Some
other
great leaders.
Jordan,
Yeah, yeah.
you can keep going. Magic. No, I'm sorry. Jordan was in February. Magic, I think, is in August. But anyway, with all that said, it's my birthday month, so I want to leave also giving something away. Anybody right now who's even thought about starting a new business, who has some idea or whatever have you, I'm willing to do a 10-minute session with you, and I will get you a free business card. Okay? Free business card design. Anyone, just inbox me. I'll let it expire at the end of the month. Okay? So the month of August.
That's a great offer. I'll jump on it right now. Don't
Yeah.
waste no time. And how do they get
strictly business card? Okay, don't come with me with logo, with website, and all this other crazy stuff. I'll create a business card for you, because that's usually the first steps of becoming a business person, having a business card. So digital business card or print business card, it's sort of a good thing to kind of start with a business. So anyone who needs help with that, you can reach me at Webprint Lab anywhere on social media, or Vonell Lamore anywhere on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is you do, or just inbox 5 Reasons, and Lance will, 5 Reasons
I'll
will
definitely come back. I'll encourage everybody to take that offer, like, a free business card, like, design a business card for you, print a business card for you. Come on. If that was me, I would jump on it right now.
Yeah, again, I just have to think, because you know what it is? People with their eyeballs, you could have been doing anything else right now with your time, but the fact that you decided to stay with us, and this is our premiere episode, so we got to give back. So that's my gift. It's my birthday month. So that's my gift for the month. Other than that, keep the love up, keep working, network. Your network is your net worth, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, well, speaking of giving back, since you're giving back, I decided to match your giving back as well.
See how it's
So
contagious? When you start giving, other people give, and next thing you know, they start giving you something.
absolutely, so it's my birthday month as well. So I just know, why not? I'll be giving away 2 free T-shirts. So follow up with me, say that you listen to this episode, and you could shoot me an email, info@5reason.live, or on our Facebook page, or on our Facebook page is 5Reason Brand, and also on our Instagram page is 5Reason. Go in there, shoot me an instant message. I'll send you the T-shirts. All right. So giving away 2 free T-shirts. Since it's my birthday month as well. And if you haven't, I encourage you to also purchase the book. I'll autograph a copy for you. And when you buy the book, I will even include a T-shirt with it as well. So, but thanks everybody for watching, and thanks. And we'll definitely next week stay tuned for the next episode next week of the 5 Reason podcast. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.